You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Today's show, I've come with an ideal and also still realistic and affordable free agency plan for the Dallas Cowboys that you can save money with restructure cuts. We'll get that here momentarily. Spend money in free agency and be a bit more aggressive than what they've been in recent, this point, almost a decade. So first, some cap accounting stuff. I can cut and restructure players to save over $50 million with ease. I can cut Zeke. That's more of a post-June 1st savings. Maybe Tyron Smith retires. I cut Jourdan Lewis. I restructure Dak Prescott. If you don't want to extend him, it's fine. I restructure Zack Martin. I restructure Tank Lawrence. I'm now from a few million over the cap. I'm playing with a ton of salary cap space to actually go out and acquire free agents and pay my own guys as well, because we know how much the Cowboys love doing that. So my number one and first step here, we'll start internal. I will go ahead and I'll pay Tony Pollard. I would rather pay him than do a franchise tag because it gives me more flexibility to sign other players, and it keeps the one fast player I have on this roster. I don't have that much speed at this point. So my pros contract is 3 years, $30 million. It's $10 million per year. It's the same basically as the franchise tag. I'll guarantee him like $20-ish million of it. And I will make note of the salary cap hit because the cap hit is not the same as the average per year figure. $6 million is the cap hit there. Instead of $10 million, I've freed up $4 million more by not using the franchise tag. All right, some other notable re-signings is my next step here. And I have changed this from when we sat down and did our ideal off-season plan. 3 players I'll look to re-sign. Number 1 is Donovan Wilson. I'll bump the numbers up. 2 years, $11.5 million. Similar with a prorated adjustment for the salary cap right to the Jourdan Lewis deal. $4.5 million cap hit in 2023. Terence still gets the first-round tender at $6 million, and I can if I want, but I'll go with that number for now. And the cap would be about the same, I think, anyway. Carlos Watkins, meanwhile, I'll bring him back. He was underrated for this team. 1 year, $1.5 million, giving me some extra depth along the defensive line as a nice back-end rotation player. Now, after all of those different moves, I've still got about $30 million in salary cap space, and I can create more if I need to. So with that in mind, we're going to speak some positivity here on today's show. If you think the Cowboys will actually spend money in free agency on outside players, as we're about to break down, type in Y for yes. If you don't, I want you to type in H for I hope so, in an effort to speak that positivity into the universe. It's the pinned comment today, so go type in Y or I guess H in the comment section at the pinned comment. All right, ideal FA plan number 1. I'm going to sign Bobby Wagner. Sorry, Leighton, Vander, Esch. I like you. You're a good football player. I'll take advantage of the better and healthier player in Wagner. My proposed contract, it's basically the exact same deal that Wagner got from the Rams, now taking over the rest of it with similar-ish guaranteed money and still carries outs after 2 years. The cap hit this year is $6 million. You're going to have to pay Vander, Esch, I'd say somewhere, instead of the $10 million per year, maybe it's 7.5. So for a little bit more money, I'm getting an older but still better player. If you want to bring back LV, that's fine. If he wants to take a cheap deal. But if he leaves, I get a comp pick. And I'm actually okay with that. So of these two, pick a linebacker. If you could only have one on your roster, because I kind of want to give Damone Clark a chance here. LVE for Leighton, Vander, Esch, or just Bobby for Bobby Wagner. Now, Wagner did play really well last year for the LA Rams, even without having Aaron Donald for the same period of time. Wagner played really well as a second-team All-Pro, and $10 million per year is half of what the highest-paid off-ball linebacker makes. There's about $20 million guaranteed in my proposed idea for that one, so I'm fine with it. You upgraded off-ball linebacker. If you're not sold on Damone Clark, maybe you can bring back Leighton Vander Esch. But I still think Wagner showed in a different defense, different scheme, without having Donald for the first half of the year, he showed more than enough to me to think he's got at least 2 more good years left in the tank. Now, today's show is sponsored by Cultivate, the free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experience. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. For 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep the money in the U.S. economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives you can pick up the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the money or the revenue they make on your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Go to wecultivate.us/chatsports and download Cultivate for free. Let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping journey. Support the show and with our link. It's wecultivate.us/chatsports. It's in the comments and the description of today's video. Number 4 step, how about signing wide receiver DJ Chark? I want speed on this wide receiver team, and I don't have it at this point. Right now, my wide receiver room is very slow. Chark, in the proposed contract I'll give him, it's a bit on the team-friendly side. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal last year. I'm not going to give him that. I'll do 1 year, $4.5 million. I'll throw in a bunch of incentives, all unlikely to be earned. So if he does hit them, it'll cost me on next year's cap, not on the current one. The Cowboys don't have speed. There's nobody fast under contract on this roster because, frankly, Turpin does not play on offense. Injuries have been the problem for DJ Chark. That's why I'm only doing a 1-year deal and not a multi-year deal, despite, I think, really helping and filling a big-time need at wide receiver. Having a vertical threat with a bigger body fits the size the Cowboys typically prefer to like and gives me the thing that I crave right now, which is just the speed. Now, if you are a die-hard Cowboys fan, make sure you are subscribed. Free videos. If the Cowboys, some people would break it down. They signed 3 outside free agents all last year. Hopefully that number goes up this offseason. Back to defense. Number 5, I'm going to sign Dalvin Tomlinson, the Vikings defense lineman, who I wanted really badly from the Giants when the Vikings signed him a few years ago. My proposed contract, and a lot of the numbers match the Spotrac PFF numbers, which it's a guess in the end. 3 years, $33 million, $7 million cap hit. I would love Jourdan Payne. He ain't going to hit the open market. He's not going anywhere. He's going to stick it with the command. He's going to get franchise tags. So a more realistic option to help fill that run stuffer who can still contribute on passing downs is Dalvin Tomlinson, who doesn't put up top-end numbers in terms of the sacks and TFLs, but he does consistently bring pressure, and he's been a very good football player. It's an upgraded version of Jonathan Higgins, and I'm hoping this Cowboys team would learn, hey, having that premier run stuffer does help things. I would love Javon Hargrave more than anything. I suspect you would not win the bidding war. So I do want to keep it a little bit more realistic, and Tomlinson is much more realistic on that front. The money is on the upper echelon of what I'd pay him, but you can get on that deal after 2 years pretty easily. Now, of all the free agents out there, who do you want to sign? Maybe it's someone I mentioned. Maybe it's someone I did not. Let me know right now in the comment section. Step number 6, signing Dalton Risner. How about you go invest in a more reliable left guard than Connor McGovern? Now, his numbers weren't as good this year. I'm inclined to blame the just general dumpster fire that was the Broncos' offense and offensive line last year. So 4 years, $38 million. There's about $20 million guaranteed there. So again, it's an out after 2 years. If you need it, $6 million cap hit. That number is still kind of below the top tier number for offensive guards. You are now in much better shape on the left side of your offensive line. You basically solidified it, where you've got a strong option in Tyler Smith, Dalton Risner, Tyler Biadasz, Zack Martin, Terence, Steele. You don't have to spend another first-round pick or premium pick on the offensive line. Risner's hurries were a bit high last year. Part of it was the fact that Denver offense just was kind of a mess. I think he'd be much better in Dallas. I think he's better than what Connor McGovern is at this point in their careers. And if I'm being aggressive, I would like to spend some money on good trench players there. I think Risner and Tomlinson fit that mold. We could not go without getting another Dan Quinn piece. I'm going to go with Isaiah Oliver here, and I'll throw this one in less of just ideal and more like this one actually does make some sense for all sides involved. Cheap veteran depth cornerback option to help hedge your bet. Since I cut Jourdan Lewis, I'm not re-signing Anthony Brown. I have another option on my roster with some inside-outside flex. He mostly played nickel last year for Atlanta, who knows Dan Quinn, fits his typical size and what he likes in a corner, and gives me a vet option in case the draft board does not fall my way. What I've done here overall, including Isaiah Oliver, is I've mostly identified and filled my needs, and at certain spots, receiver, cornerback, maybe running back to an extent, I can still draft a premium player in round one if one happens to fall to me. Or I can trade down. And I'm allowing myself to actually go BPA more so than I have in other off seasons. So my ideal free agency plan, and by the way, I still have several $1 million left over. Steven, talk to me, bud. I got you covered here. Number one is pay Tony Pollard. Number two are other internal re-signings led by Donovan Wilson. I'll sign Bobby Wagner, DJ Chark, Dalvin Tomlinson, Dalton Risner, and Isaiah Oliver. It's something like the last 10 Super Bowl winners have all spent more guaranteed money on one player in free agency than the Cowboys have spent overall on outside free agents. That would change with this plan. So grade it for me. You can be honest. I can take criticism. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade my free agency plan for the Dallas Cowboys.